Hello and welcome to another episode of the Gohndim Gilmore Show. Today's episode is brought to you by the Boston News Network, the only New Age digital newspaper that brings you only the facts.
Welcome back to another episode of the Gohndim Gilmore Show. We're here with a former guest. Lisa is a blogger. Lisa, how are you?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing well. We're also here with Gohndim per usual. So you told us before the episode that you had some friends bring some concerns to you that they believed, or they were concerned that you were going on a fascist podcast, namely the Gohndim Gilmore Show. So if you just want to start, what were their concerns? What did they think was actually fascist about the show? And kind of what were they saying to you?
I think even though some of this stuff was probably edited out of the conversation, the thing about Western civilization, about reducing the birth rates, keeping people, keeping like Americans, an America First type of agenda, and deporting all the Browns.
Wait, Lisa, can we just test this for a second? We also talked about this a little bit in the pre-show, but you admitted and told us one of your vulnerable moments last year was you lost funding when Democrats shut down the government in November, and so you had to seek other assistance. Wouldn't you have rather the American government put American people first instead of caring about people abroad and all these illegal immigrants? Like, wouldn't it be good? Would it have been good for them to put your needs first instead of other people?
When I think of America First, I think we shouldn't be supporting certain things like Israel's war effort. I don't think we should continue to finance that. And yes, I'm aware that Chuck Schumer is one of the big people who is for that. And I don't think that we need to. I think if somebody were attacking Israel, since they are one of our allies, if they were attacking Israel and still in the middle of attacking Israel and actually doing harm to Israel, then maybe we would be able to think that we would need to help them. But the way they are genociding people, just genuinely genociding people, is wrong, and I have the feeling that Trump is just thinking of like making a new Atlantic City out of Gaza, and I am very much against that.
Well, to be clear, this war started under Joe Biden, and he did nothing to stop it. Trump has done more for the peace process and to help Palestinians than Joe Biden did, and that's a big reason why Kamala Harris lost, for example, the Dearborn, Michigan vote. So I think your criticism is not really well landed, Lisa. I agree with you that Israel is a very disgusting state, but they also are useful for America as a foothold in the Middle East.
Don't agree with the Zionist concept. I just don't.
Well, Lisa, maybe you and I agree on more of America First than you actually think then. Like, for example, I find people like Ben Shapiro, even Gilmore to some extent, like these American Jews who are like promoting Israeli ideas and like support Israel above America. I think that's disgusting and they should be more focused on America first. Like when Ben Shapiro goes on and says like, we need to raise all this money for Israel. And of course I'm here, part of my job to be here and not living in Israel is to support Israel. I find this to be a disgusting attitude and it should be a deportable attitude. Would you not agree in that case that these people should be more America First?
No, I would not want American Jews who believe in Zionism to be deported, and in no way would I agree with that. Theoretically, every American deserves to be able to believe what they want to believe, and I usually give Jews the J pass, if you will.
I'm not familiar with that. What is that?
Because a lot
Yeah,
of
what's
them
that
have
mean?
been indoctrinated into thinking that Israel is a fundamental part of their religion. And I mean, of course, in the past, it definitely was. But you know, like you can't come back 2,000 or so years after you left somewhere and expect them.
Lisa, it sounds to me
expect
like
them to.
you're saying that you're coming on a fascist podcast, but all your criticism is about like you don't really like Jews in Israel. Like this sounds more fascist than anything I've ever said.
I didn't say I disliked Jewish people. I like Jewish people very much.
Well, you just said that they're brainwashed and you give them the pass because they've been brainwashed and like they don't have a right to do this and that. Like this sounds like a early Adolf Hitler speech.
I probably should have moderated my words on that, but like I just what I mean is that no human in the current state of the way we are need think that they have this magical homeland that they're allowed to just take from anybody that was there first. And you know, if you left somewhere and then thousands of years later you decide to go back, how is that right if you don't literally own the land? And you can't really say whether or not what biblical accuracy is in Palestine.
Let's put this one on the shelf. So I think, Lisa, you and I do agree that there's a lot of things that are to be disliked about American Jews, and I think we both agree that we should be more America first on that effort. So what else makes
No,
this a fascist podcast?
What I meant was that because like 90% of Jewish people allegedly, because you know polls can lie,
Are circumcised.
are Zionists.
Oh,
Therefore,
sorry.
I do not dislike Zionists as a people, but I just don't agree with them.
Yeah, but like
Lisa,
what would you say is a Zionist? Like what's your definition of Zionist?
A person who believes that that Israel belongs to them exclusively, or people who support that idea that that the whole area of Palestine is just magically theirs because somebody in the 1840s decided to write a book, or 1880s, and it's just not right. And then, of course, the British, like they have with various other countries, they should not have gave Palestine to. They shouldn't have given it to people who were Israelis. And back when World War I ended, it wasn't a
well, Lisa, we
good
can put a pin
thing.
in this. I think we agree. We just disagree on like. I think we both agree that like I said, the state of Israel needs to be dissolved. It is certainly useful for U.S. foreign policy interests, and like a lot of Jewish behavior is pretty sus, is what I would say. And like obviously they got their hands in banking and filmmaking, and they kind of like run certain parts of society. We agree on all of that. I think what we disagree on is like I'm very confused. We've gone through this like 3 times now.
Okay, I just want to say that I don't believe the Jews own everything. I mean, there is definitely a significant amount of Jewish people who are in the media industry, but that's because a lot of them are very good at what they do.
Yeah, Lisa, I'm not saying this is a bad thing.
They
I'm
are
not sure. I'm
very
not sure.
high value immigrants, and they made their they also the banker thing is is problematic because a lot of the time, historically, Jewish
Mhm.
people were the only people that were allowed to be like pawnbrokers and usurers.
Lisa, I'm not. Your aversion to like saying that Jews are in very powerful positions. It's just weird to me. I love it. I'm, as you know, I'm a race realist. I think Jews have like the highest average IQ. In an ideal world, there'd be peace in the Middle East. We dissolve the state of Israel, and all the Jews would come live in America and help our society and be more productive and useful. I'm all for that. I don't understand why people think it's like such a disgusting thing to be like, oh yeah, the Jews are helping run society. We need help. Our country's going down the shitter. We need the Jews.
Say, I think that after World War II, we should have definitely just opened wide for people who were refugees from Europe, and
Yes, because that would have been an
they would
American
have been
first policy. Yeah.
they would have been very helpful in they would have been very good immigrants to have, and I mean, it would have been a good thing. And Palestinians, if they wanted to come here too, that's great. But
No, well, no,
but
no, 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 no. Lisa, these are Palestinians are an average, basically terrorists. So like, it just don't make any sense. Look at how well it worked for like countries like Germany importing Syrian refugees. Like, do you want to be able to stroll to your Christmas market in the winter and not get run over by a truck? Like, I don't know what to tell you. Do you want to feel safe in your own country? This is what I'm talking about. It's not insane to say that you want America to be the best country in the world and you want to take American people first. So importing Jews, good. Importing Palestinians, terrible. That's an awful idea.
I don't believe that all Palestinians are going to go and run over a bunch of white people in a Christmas market.
Wait, who said they're white?
Especially if they
Again,
were well
again.
treated.
Lisa, you are implying here that I'm protecting like white Americans. I love Mexican Americans. I love our Irish Americans. I love African Americans. I love all Americans, all real, true, legal Americans. I don't care if they're white. I want to have the best, strongest country possible, and importing Palestinians is a way to like ruin that entirely. Look,
I
look at this. Look at this.
disagree. However, I'm not a big fan of Islam in itself.
Yeah, of
But I
course,
don't
no one
believe
is.
that
No one is.
being a Muslim, being a Muslim automatically makes you a bad person, and or a lot of them are very moderate people, and you know, I just couldn't get behind Muhammad for the obvious reasons. The
Yeah,
same
well,
reasons you wouldn't want to like be friends with Jeffrey Epstein.
I'm not exactly sure what that means, but Lisa, we can put a pin in this again for the third time. We agree on this issue for the most part. What else makes us a fascist podcast? I'm confused.
Aren't you a very big pro ICE or people pro Trump and
Pro.
whatnot?
I would say that I'm pro deporting illegal aliens. Yeah, of course. People that are here illegally, people that are violating our citizens, bringing drugs and crime here. Of course. Don't you think you should be deporting these people?
Did you see how they took that 5-year-old and his father, and they're putting them in what is basically a concentration camp? And
No, 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 no.
what
It's a specific family detention center. I wrote about this in the Boston News Network. Everyone should check it out, bostonnewsnetwork.com, and you can read the story of Liam Ramos. Like, he was in a family detention center. They transported him specifically from Minnesota to Texas to be at this very specific facility that's designed to support families.
measles is breaking out there. There's insufficient food, overcrowding, basically the same type of conditions, or they're like easing down into that same type of conditions as concentration camps were.
Okay, Lisa, if it's so bad, then he can be deported to his home country. I don't know what to tell you. I already know where it is,
They
but
were
if it's so bad,
they
get
were
deported.
here legally, and they were seeking asylum.
Well, I'm not in favor of most asylum seekers. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, would you rather they be butchered in some other country?
Well, I don't think that's a false dichotomy, so I just reject the premise.
And a lot of the times, a lot of the difficulties that people south of the border have was because of American the American way of dealing with them, and also it goes all the way back to the conquistadors.
Who did a bloody good job for the most part, right?
No.
I don't know, man. Like, it just feels like this is some woke libtard shit, Lisa, where it's like, oh my god, we're on stolen land and we have to be nice to all the native peoples. Like, this is our land now. Like, I don't have to tell you.
I have some Native American blood in me. But I
Are we talking
wouldn't
like
decide
Elizabeth Warren levels, or
probably Elizabeth Warren or even less.
okay?
Because that's like somebody in the 1830s married a half Cherokee woman.
Okay, Lisa, let's just speed run the rest of the fascist claims. So we agree that Jews are good and Palestinians are probably net negative. We agree that ICE should deport illegal immigrants. So where do we disagree? What's the next point? What's the next point?
I would think that deporting people, unless they have done violent Laken Riley level shit, they shouldn't be deported.
So you were a fan of the Laken Riley Act, just to be clear.
Yeah, I don't think Laken Riley did anything wrong, to be honest.
No, she didn't do anything wrong, but the man who murdered her definitely did.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I agree with that part.
But did you support the Laken Riley Act?
I would say that people that actually hurt other people and other Americans and people are doing violent crime and not just like infractions or misdemeanors. People who are actually doing violent crime are in criminal gangs, and you actually know that they're in criminal gangs just because they have a certain tattoo or something. That person probably should be deported. Not necessarily his family, but he should be.
Okay, so we semi-agree your first 2 points. What's your third point?
I think that's about it. Your eugenicist takes are very sus.
Well, no, you agree with this too. Everyone is a basic eugenicist. Like, everyone agrees that we should be able to screen and weed out certain basic, debilitating disabilities, of course.
I don't believe there should be a law that says that you should not be able to reproduce. I just don't believe that, because it's been used against people that were perfectly capable of taking care of themselves, or even like people who weren't. But it's still not the government's place to say they should not breed. And in Puerto Rico, they actually sterilized a lot of the women there.
Well, better than sterilizing the men.
And it's considered.
Lisa, let's walk through a couple examples. Example number one, and we talked about this in the pre-show. You have two sets of population, all things considered equal. One is just 20% more intelligent. Which one are you going to pick to have run your country? Everything else is the same, but one is 20% more intelligent.
How do you base your belief on intelligence?
Assume we have a perfect measuring instrument for intelligence.
Well, what would be your base cut off?
You kind of cut out there. Assume what would be your base what?
Your cutoff.
Base cut off of what would you consider inferior?
No, this isn't any kind of measure of inferior. I'm saying you have two populations. Say it's 100,000 people and another 100,000 people. Everything about them is the same. You're measuring their intelligence the same way, but one you're measuring 20% higher, and you have a perfect measuring tool for intelligence. It doesn't exist, obviously. It's a fantastical hypothetical. But which population would you rather have be in your country?
Would they probably intermarry, a lot of them, and also a lot of times when you have such intelligence differences or whatever, a lot of it has to do with malnourishment or
Well, Lisa,
or
no, everything's the same. Everything's the same with these two populations. Your refusal to answer the question gives away the fact that every sane, rational, normal person would choose the population that's 20% more intelligent.
I mean, people, because of the way I speak and everything, they think I'm not intelligent, and I have a block on people who want to do this IQ thing with other people, because a lot of times you can't tell just by looking at someone or listening to them whether or not they're intelligent, and it's problematic.
Let's do another example then. Let's say you have a new baby is going to be born. Option one, you have it born into a family that makes $200,000 a year. Option two, it's born into a family that makes $18,000 a year. In which scenario is that baby going to thrive more, on average, statistically?
I would say the person that has the more money would probably be able to provide for their child a little bit better.
So,
which is why we should have social programs.
So just to be clear, we also seem to agree, at least in some of the core tenets of eugenicism.
No, we don't. I do not agree with eugenicism.
Wait, so Lisa, what do you think I'm fascist about, if anything?
Maybe just being a Zionist. But like I said, I think Jewish people have the J card. So, I wouldn't really consider you all that fascist, but I know Gohndom's beliefs are a bit farther right than most people.
Okay, so my personal belief on Israel, in terms of Zionism, is that I think that the country of Israel has a right to exist and to be free from terrorist attacks and suicide bombing and intifadas and things like that. Do you think that's fascist?
No, not in itself. I definitely don't believe that Israel should cease to exist or be able to live a normal and happy and safe life. If you were born somewhere, because basically the whole world, people immigrated, from time immemorial. So, I don't believe that they should be, thrown out of Israel. I think ideally a one-state solution would be really, really good. I don't know if it's actually possible now because of how the Israelis have traditionally treated the Palestinians, but something needs to change.
Yeah, I mean, I agree something does need to change. I think it's a little tough to have the one-state solution where both Israel and the Palestinians don't want a one-state solution. It pulls very low amongst both, I guess, the country and the states. I do think a setup where both sets of people could kind of just have their own area, be safe, be prosperous would probably be the best situation. But unfortunately, I feel like that's not really in the cards anytime soon.
Probably not, but I hope that if that's the only way that it will be, is like a two-state solution where I think that people ought to be able to be free to go where they want and maybe have dual citizens, like if the Palestinians wanted to be a part of Israel and vice versa, they ought to come to some sort of agreement. But this is like ideally, I don't know if it's possible or not.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think there was a system up until probably around, October 6th, where there were people from Gaza who had like work visas coming into Israel, working every week, coming in every day, Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturdays, I'm sure. Probably tens of thousands of them able to come into Israel, but unfortunately, something happened, and that's no longer the case.
Well, I would definitely agree that October 7th was a horrible and terrible thing that happened, and it shouldn't have happened.
Well, to be clear, a little exaggerated by the Jews, though, right?
No, it depends on what
didn't they make
mean.
lies about like burned babies and like all these like fake pictures and like here's the thing, that music festival in the first place,
yeah.
wasn't it so close to the border? Do you think that they were doing that to antagonize the Palestinians?
I would think that there probably was some of that, yeah.
Yeah.
However, I don't think they should have parachuted in and started raping and killing people and taking people hostage. And I'd say the same for the Israelis, who do just about as bad. At least the IDF, they rape their prisoners. They torture people. They have raped people over in Palestine. So both sides have blood on their hands. Just don't get me wrong. However, the IDF carried out a whole lot of unnecessary killing, which is basically Netanyahu's doing.
And everyone listening to the podcast, please take a few moments to Google the Lavon affair. That's the LAVON AFFAIR, the Lavon affair. Lisa, so we kind of agree again on this atrocity that the Jews definitely over exaggerated some of the atrocities. Let me just ask you as we wrap up.
I would not frame it in that sort of I would not frame it as the Jews. I would frame it.
We get that. We get that you wouldn't say it that way. We understand.
I would say it the Israeli government.
Well, I think
Jews,
you would agree that the Israeli government is made up of Israelis, right?
Well, yes.
And Israelis are, for the most part, Jews.
I think a whole lot of them are, yes. There are.
So you would say it would be fair shorthand to say that the Jews exaggerated this?
The Jews? No. I'm not doing that. That's wrong.
Okay, well, agree to disagree. I just wanted to ask this one final question, Lisa, because we kind of already covered the ICE shenanigans. What do you think Donald Trump has done right in this first year of his third term?
Right. Let's see.
What are some good things that he has done? Because I can think of a whole bunch, but I just want to see if you can think of some. I'm testing how biased you are,
If he actually eliminated tax on tips, I think that would be a good thing. If he actually eliminated daylight savings time I would be absolutely thrilled, and I think he supports that. Those are the only two things that I can think of that he did right.
Well, but, again, just a shout out for people.
If you can tell me other things, I would listen, and I would tell you whether I thought that was a good thing or a bad one.
Well, Lisa, there's actually a great article that the White House put out earlier this year. I'm looking at it right now, January 20th, 2026. It's called 365 Wins in 365 Days. President Trump's return marks a new era of success, prosperity. I encourage all of our listeners and viewers to go and read this article because it's truly 365 wins in 365 days. I'm not sure if there's ever been a more successful first year to a presidential term in American history. Maybe, well, no, I think it's that. I think it's this, so...
And just to show how much I'm not biased. I think the best thing Trump has done is the Trump RX, where you could buy weight loss drugs for like $100 a month now.
I mean,
See,
if he could get like a prescriptions lower, that's a great thing. But the problem is, like, he did all these tariffs, and people were getting medication from other places that had legitimate pharmacies, and now there's a freaking tariff on it. And
well, tariffs are good for America.
no, they aren't.
It helps
It's just a
negotiate better
tax
trade
on the
deals.
American people.
Okay, Lisa, number 47 on this article. Implemented an additional 10% tariff on imports from China in order to stem the flow of illegal fentanyl trafficked into our country. Don't you think that we should reduce fentanyl into our country?
I definitely think we should reduce fentanyl, but
Okay, then we agree with Trump on this tariff. Yeah.
I don't believe that we should have put that type of tariff on there because
Wait, let me point you to point 89.
Mm-hmm. What?
Let me
he didn't
point 89.
Understand that most of our shit comes from China.
Point 89. Cut the U.S. trade deficit to its lowest levels and through tariff enforcement and reciprocal trade pressure. That's a good win. That's a huge W.
No, it isn't. It really isn't. Everything is going up for American people, and we're struggling here.
Lisa, the major component of the struggle here was under Biden and Biden inflation. Like, Trump has done wonders for the economy. We've seen all-time highs in the silver market, which is very important, all-time highs in the gold market, all-time highs in the stock market. This has been a successful Trump term. And I think that the people are still suffering and reeling from the heels of Biden inflation. And remember, Kamala Harris in her campaign against Donald Trump defended the Biden economy, said it was a strong economy, said it was a prosperous economy for normal average Americans, and she was very out of touch. Like, sure, it's going to take some time to restore the health and the vitality of the American middle class, but Donald Trump is on the path to doing so.
We had a whole lot of things that buy for us in the lower classes that were really helpful, especially during the COVID era. And
like what? He literally caused inflation. All these retarded handouts and checks to people that are net tax burdens literally just increased the deficit, literally just raised prices because everyone was like demand buying everything. Like, it spiked prices to levels that are probably not going to be returned to normal anytime soon. So yeah, Biden inflation was real. It hurt every single American across the board, not equally, of course, but it hurt everyone. And yeah, we're going to be reeling from the effects of Biden inflation for probably another year or two. And he made Trump's job much harder to fix it. I agree with you again.
I don't think you get what I'm saying here. He helps people like me with food insecurity. He helped low income people get internet, which helped them get jobs. So and jobs and education, and I really think that his war on us is unfounded. Trump's war on us.
Trump's war on who?
On us lower income individuals.
I don't think it's a war. It's just being realistic about what our country can and cannot do. I mean, how much can you tax people like me who are making, a lot of money? We pay almost all the taxes in this country anyway. We can't be supporting everyone. I mean, I don't really support my family. I end up supporting like fucking 20 other families. That's not fair. It's immoral. It's robbing Peter to pay Paul. We have to basically gut entitlements. And honestly, I'm more on board with the universal healthcare system now because we have things like Ozempic. Like, maybe have universal healthcare for people that have like a BMI below 23.5, but no social security, no food programs, no things of this nature. Maybe even like a UBI of like, maybe, I don't know, like $200 a month or something. Like, we can maybe like break bread on something like that. We can come to a deal or something.
And you don't think that's fascist?
How Was that fascist program is fascist?
No, I think cutting the Social Security program is fascist.
I don't see how, I guess. So America was a fascist country before it was established?
I wouldn't say completely, but I mean, it wasn't as great as after Social Security, which helped widows and orphans and such as that.
Lisa, no one's disputing that's like the only good benefit of Social Security. The fucking survivorship benefits and the disability benefits. I agree with you. Those are actually good components of Social Security. Using it as a backstop for the entire retirement program for Americans is absolutely retarded. It has a terrible actual real rate of return, and Americans use it as kind of a moral hazard where they don't save their own money and they think they can rely on Social Security. It's a terrible program. It's a terrible use of money. The money's not even invested in like safe index funds. It's a complete waste. It's robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's basically just a wealth transfer to boomers, and it's going to implode. So the fact that people still defend this program, it blows my mind because it makes no sense on paper or in theory. Like, it's just a terrible program. We'll give you the last word, Lisa. We've fixed. What do you want to end us with tonight?
I wanted it with saying that it's very unusual to me that you would say that, because people pay into Social Security, and when they have the right to consider that the money that they get helps them to survive. It is a bad idea if you are able to save to completely rely on Social Security and Medicare, because you will be in a poor income bracket. But saying that they're it's not a freeloading thing. They have paid into that. They have part of their paycheck taken for that.
Lisa, tell that to the people that are paying into it now and are going to receive pennies on the dollar of what they put in, if anything at all. That's all I can say. Gilmore, final thoughts as we wrap up here tonight?
Yeah, just one more thing I wanted to mention before about one of the downsides of the frustration is that RAM and other computer parts are really expensive. But except for that, it's hard to pull, months or so.
All right, you heard it from us. Lisa, we want to thank you again for giving us some of your time on this Friday night. Anything you want to shout out, we'll link to your blog, your YouTube channel, the usual. And once again, thank you for coming on the pod.
My YouTube channel is Lisaisablogger. If you look that up, you should be able to find my my YouTube. And that's about it.
All right. Again, Lisa, thanks for being here. I just want to say God bless Trump and his administration, and America first. God bless everyone. Thank you, everyone, for listening to another episode of the Gohndim Gilmore Show. Check the links in the show description to see where you can find us. Join our Discord to interact with us and submit questions for the next show. As always, your support is much appreciated. Until next time, adios.
Bye-bye.